What's up, YouTube? It's Darren the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I cover fragrance and fashion on this channel. So if that interests you, consider subscribing to the channel, and also make sure you go ahead and hit the notification bell as well, so that when I upload new content, YouTube will notify you that a video has been uploaded. So guys, I know a lot of you out there have heard the news, but if you have not, I am going to be the first to reveal this to you. I doubt that I am though. But the brand of Atelier Cologne is pulling out of the US and Canadian markets. So by mid-March, I think is what I have read, the brand of Atelier Cologne will be no more in the US and in the Canadian markets. Now, I personally, that was a brand that I haven't had as much experience with. I had a few fragrances from the collection, from the house in my collection, but it was a house that I really did have more interest in based on the fragrances that I had already acquired in my collection. Now, with that being said, you guys know how this goes. Once March passes and it is harder to procure bottles from this fragrance house, the prices are going to shoot way up. Okay, so with that being the case, I have 5 fragrances in my collection from this particular brand, and I want to tell you, in my opinion, which 5 you need to keep your eye out for and go pick up. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, then you know the routine. Keep it locked right here.
Bowtie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's go ahead and jump into this list. I do want to say that right now, like Sephora, that's where I get a lot of my fragrances from, or I've gotten a lot of my fragrances from. Like right now, you can get like 30% off. I think these bottles for the 3.4 ounces are going for like $142, I think. But you get like 30% off all of their fragrances right now until the stock is sold out. And I think you also get a discount on their website. If you go to the Atelier Cologne website, I think it's even 40% off. And there's a code, I think it's thank you 40, that you can use to get 40% off. Now, with that being said, guys, these are the 5 that I think are my 5 of my favorites from the Atelier Cologne house. The first one that I want to mention here, and this seems to be the overall fan favorite. I do like it, but I have 4 others that I like a little bit more, but this one is called Orange Sanguine. Orange Sanguine. And basically what this is a very, of course, as you can imagine, orange citrus heavy fragrance but it's creamy. So it's like a creamy orange fragrance. You would think of maybe an orange creamsicle, or more so, I've heard this said and I agree, it smells like a glass of orange juice. That's exactly what this, when I put my nose to this just now, that's what came to my mind, the orange juice. It smells like a freshly squeezed cup or bottle of orange juice. That's what this smells like. Man, this is very, very pleasant. Now, this house, for me, is a house that I look to for fragrances that are more in line with this, more citrus heavy fragrance, more florals. So fragrances that I would wear more so in the summer and the springtime is what I look to this house for, because I think that they do those well. Yeah, so this is one, guys, that I highly recommend. It has orange, of course, an orange note, orange, blood orange, jasmine, geranium, and then when it dries down, you know, that's where that creaminess comes in. So, you know, you have some sandalwood in here, some tonka bean, and amber. So it gets warm and it gets really creamy and sweet. But that orange stays around for the duration of the wearing, and that's something that I really like, because, you know, usually any type of citrus note typically is kind of fleeting and it doesn't really hang around often. Most fragrances where you find that there is a concentration on the citrus note of something like orange or bergamot or whatever the case may be, lime. But in this one, it sticks around until that creaminess comes in. I really like this one. So in the 5th spot, this is one that I think you really need to get your nose on if you can before these things start going for what I would say is an unreasonable price. Again, this one is called Orange Sanguine. All right, guys, so in the fourth spot, this is one that I highly recommend from the house as well. Now, before I say this, I do want to say that there are some other fragrances from Atelier Cologne that I think are really good. Like they have a rose fragrance that's really good, but for my collection, I have a lot of rose fragrances. So that's not, again, this is not the house that I look for more rose fragrances or fragrances that I would wear in the fall and winter. This is just not, I look to them for, you know, summer and spring fragrances. With that being said, the fourth one that I would recommend that you guys pick up is this one. It's called Clementine, California. Clementine, California. What you're gonna get with this, that a very bright, crisp, invigorating citrus opening. That is with the clementine and the mandarin in the opening of this one. Oh man, just again, that citrus just hits you in the face. Very, very invigorating and uplifting is what you get with that. Oh man, and then when this one starts to dry down, what I really pick up on more so is the basil. So you get that kind of herbaceous vibe from the basil that comes into play with that nice, clean, crisp citrus opening. It is really, really a nice combination in the opening of this fragrance. Now on the dry down, you get some vetiver in here that comes into play, and some sandalwood primarily. But this is another one that I highly recommend. Again, spring and summer is right around the corner. And to me now is the perfect time to pick up fragrances like this, especially at the price point that they're going for. So in the fourth spot for me, I think that it would be wise for you guys to pick up Clementine, California. This is a really, really good one. All right, guys, now the third spot, this actually is I think this is the second fragrance that I ever picked up from this house, and it's really good, man. This one is called Bergamote Soleil. Bergamote Soleil, as the name would indicate, this is centered around the note of bergamot. So of course, perfect for the summertime. A nice bergamot fragrance, you can never go wrong with that. Oh man, this is just so refreshing, and that's, you know, is the case with a lot of their fragrances. Just so refreshing. Citrus fragrances, of course, are liked by many. It's really hard to go wrong oftentimes when you wear something that's really heavy on the citrus notes. And this is one that will kind of put you in the mindset of fragrances like Bergamot 22 from Le Labo. Very similar, but of course it's not really lacking in that quality. One of the things that, a word that you will hear me repeat over and over about their fragrances are very fresh and invigorating. That's really a vibe that you get with most of their fragrances, especially of course the ones that are made that I think will be primarily good for the spring and summertime, and this is no different. Man, this stuff is good, man. I love on the dry down when the oak moss comes into this. There's some amber as well, so it really gives some more character to what would otherwise be just a typical citrus bergamot fragrance. So this one is really good, man. Very well done, man. Kind of smells like, if you've ever smelled, it's really close to the one from Creed, and I don't know why the name is escaping me right now, and I can't remember the name of it, but I'll make sure I post it here when I go back and edit the video. But really, really good fragrance, man. So the third one that I want to recommend you pick up is Bergamote Soleil. So guys, coming in at the number 2 spot, and this is probably the one that's going to go for the highest when these fragrances become harder to get and people are starting to resell these fragrances on places like eBay, Mercari, wherever you may be looking. And I'll tell you why in just a moment, but this is the second one that I think you should pick up, and this is called MUSC Imperial. It's called MUSC Imperial. Now, this one, if you have not heard, smells a lot like Creed Aventus. I will say that it does, but not, of course, an exact clone. You do have that black currant in the opening, and that's where a lot of the comparison is drawn. It doesn't have pineapple, but it does have bergamot. So you still get a citrus vibe in the opening with the black currant. But the main differentiating factor between this and Aventus is this has fig. And the fig makes this fragrance very creamy. Fig, leather, and lavender in the heart. The lavender and the fig gives this very creamy vibe. It almost comes off as vanillic, the way that those notes combine together in the heart of this. There's a slight warmness that comes in, of course, almost what would be akin to smokiness from leather, but it's more warm. And yeah, this is a really good one, man. Again, it is going to put you in the mindset of a vintage, but again, that fig and the lavender really take this in more of a creamy, like I said, almost this vanillic kind of undertone that comes off from those notes in here that really makes this something different. So, but it is really good. It will put you in the mindset of a vintage, but it does its own thing. And if you look on eBay right now, out of all the other fragrances that from this house, this is the one that's going highest already on those kind of secondary websites like that. So definitely make sure you try to get a bottle of this. If you like Creed vintage inspired kind of fragrances, this is one I'm sure you'll enjoy. This one is called MUSC Imperial. All right, guys, in the number one spot, I'm going to go ahead and get a backup bottle of this myself, because this is the one that I have the least amount left, because it's my favorite from this house. And this one is called CEDRAT ENIVRANT. CEDRAT ENIVRANT from Atelier Cologne. Man, you talk about fresh, vibrant, and uplifting. I think it's lime, citron in here, as well as mint. So it's super fresh, super invigorating. You kind of get that lime mojito kind of vibe from this fragrance as well. That's really what this reminds me of. This stuff is this is amazing, man. Honestly, I think, and this is just off the top of my head, but if I was compiling a list of my favorite fragrances for the summer, I'm thinking this would be in my top 10. I love this one. This is by far my favorite from the house. I love the mint in this. It doesn't smell cheap. It doesn't smell like mint, like toothpaste. Is a very fresh mint, almost the way what you would smell if you would pick mint fresh out of a garden. That's what I get from this. So very photorealistic smelling mint with that lime, again, that mojito kind of vibe. This stuff is just amazing, man. So this is the number one fragrance I would recommend you pick up from this house before they, again, start going for ridiculous prices. All right, guys, that's it. That's my time. I hope you found this video to be informative, as I kind of covered the top 5 fragrances from the house of Atelier Cologne that I think you should pick up before they become hard to find. As always, I sincerely appreciate your time and attention to these videos. You don't have to watch, but you do. I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and also make sure you go ahead and hit the bell icon as well. Share these videos out to some other folks that you think could use this information or find it entertaining, because I'm your guy, Darren, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.